So, art fundamentals aren't fundamental. And I'm going to tell you why. Hey, my squids. It's your favorite cephalopod, the prize winning squid, back with another video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm an artist who likes to do illustrations and webcomics, and my webcomic Talia is up on its website, taliawebcomic.com, as well as global comics, webtoons, and my Patreon, patreon.com/theprizewinningsquid, where you get to read everything early if you're subscribed. You get to see tons of behind the scenes stuff. And I'm also going to be putting videos up there as well, going over some of the struggles that I have with each page or things that I was doing or different changes I made to kind of, make the comic look better as we go forward. And then on this channel, we talk about art and art related drama and other topics. So if that is something you like, subscribe here as well. Like I said, art fundamentals aren't fundamental. And we're going to talk about that. I also look at speed paints that I've done in the background on this channel. So today's speed paint is going to be my character 4 from my local D&D sessions. 4 is a rock gnome cleric who is more like a necromancer who has a dead pet rat named Lichen who is possessed with a kind of demonic type soul and uses this rat to go off and do other things. It's a familiar that they can actually has an action right after their action. So sometimes I draw 4. I drew 4. So we're going to look at the speed paint of that while we talk about this art thing. Editing squid here. So, content warning. Near the end of this video, I kind of get really emotional, get a little bit worked up talking about art. I'm passionate about it. So, if that's something that you feel very uncomfortable looking at, I don't mind if you skip this video. For those who understand my passion and also feel that same level, continue watching. So, what do I mean by art fundamentals aren't fundamental? Well, you've probably heard somebody come up to you and they like your art and they're like, oh man, this looks good. You could probably work on your anatomy a little bit. You could probably work on your color theory a little bit. You could probably insert something that they tell you to work on. And then there's people who are like, well, you should learn the fundamentals before you really delve into art. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, don't. No, literally, do not. First and foremost, art fundamentals, they're not as important as you think. They just aren't. See, here's the problem. Is you've probably seen the TikTokification of hobbies and the idea of everything you do, you have to have a side hustle for it. If you're good at anything, if you love crocheting, you have to go then at a con or a market. If you draw anime characters, well, why aren't you taking commissions? If you like to make little 1-2 panel comic strips, well, why aren't you doing a comic book? Because you don't have to. That's not what art is. So art fundamentals stems from the idea of you go to art school and of course here's the things you should learn to do so you can break them apart, and you learn anatomy so you can break it apart. But I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to. You don't have to do any of that. You can literally just do art for art's sake. In fact, the problem is that we don't do art for art's sake anymore. It's everything is a hustle. Everything is an algorithm. Everything is a post that needs to be curated and figured out. And I see so many other artists constantly going, I post it, nobody likes it. But you got 3 likes on it. That's 3 people who loved your stuff. 3 people walking around who loved your stuff. Well, it wasn't the million that Lowish got. They have been doing this either for far longer or they're actually actively trying to promote stuff. You're looking at big artists who this is their job. They don't have another job. This is what they do. So you can't compare yourself to them. There is no reason for that. But also, you should just make art to make art. We've gotten away from that. That's part of what the art fundamentals thing is if you're not doing art strictly like this, specifically in this vein, then you're not doing art right. But you are. Who says that the color theory that somebody learned in art school matters to people who love your art? They might just look at the art and go, I love bumblebees. I love that you colored the bumblebees this way. No, they don't look like real bumblebees, but I like the way you did the bumblebees. Why do you have to try to make everything look natural? Why does everything have to be proportional? Why can't things be wonky? That, even beyond talking about AI slop or anything else, that's what makes art your art, is the parts that are imperfect. If you go with the Loomis method for everything because you're just like, well, that's the method you have to use, then you'll never, ever explore all these other things and other ways to make people look different ways. You have to break beyond what you and other people think fundamentals even means. Let's be honest, when you were a kid, and I've talked about this before in a previous video, but when you were a kid, you didn't know any of this crap. You literally just, you picked up a pencil, you picked up a crayon, you got a loose sheet of paper, thing had blue lines on it probably, and you just sat there and drew. Why? Because you loved it. So why as an adult you can't do that now? Why as an adult that you have to figure out, well, I need it to look a certain way. It has to kind of look like Akira Toriyama, because if it doesn't look like Dragon Ball Z or Chrono Trigger or something in that vein, then people won't like it. Yes, they will. I'm here to tell you, yes, they will. I look at some of my art and I go, man, this thing look ugly as hell. And there will be somebody who literally comes into the comments every single time and they go, this is fire. I love this thing. And I'm like, you know what, man, you right. This is fire. I love this thing now. Even if it's just one person. So I had a post that I posted up the other day. And I was like, what was a piece that you started and you were like, man, this thing probably gonna be trash. And then you finished and you were like, this thing is fire. Like, you were so proud of it when you finished it. And at the beginning you were like, this isn't gonna do what I thought. And there was tons of people who came in, right? There were some pieces that I was just like, my God, your skill level is beyond blah, blah, blah. How could you think that this wasn't going to be fire? But it's because that's what they make. That's the thing that they already do. They're not comparing themselves to other people. They're looking at their thing and going, it's not as good as it could be, right? But we're looking at it and going, that thing is fire, dude. But they're probably looking at somebody's super simple cartoon art and going, oh my God, this looks so good. And that person who makes super simple cartoon art is like, this thing is trash. I can't draw cartoons. Meanwhile, you have somebody over here who puts stick figures together and goes, this thing is fire. Because it's about you liking your art. It's not about somebody else gushing over it. It's not about it meeting some rigorous judgment that somebody is going to apply to it. It's about you actually loving your own stuff and realizing that you want to make stuff because you want to make stuff, right? If you want to learn complicated anatomy, learn it. But that's because you want to learn it, not because it is a fundamental thing that you have to know to do art. Why do we still absolutely love things that don't have any proportional meaning in terms of real life? We love these things to death, and it's not because the person learned proportions and broke them apart. It's because we like what we're looking at, right? Do the same in your own art. If you want to learn color theory, if you want to learn lighting and shadow, and you're like, I want to make everything look like it's outside on a sunny day, learn it. But that doesn't mean the person who never ever does that doesn't know how to make good art. Knowing natural lighting and how shading and shadows work and all of this doesn't mean that you're a better artist or even that your art is intrinsically better than everybody else's. It just means it's your art. That's it. I think we've gone so far away from what art is just supposed to be. It's supposed to be an expression of you as a person. We've gotten so far away from that now you have people giving up because, well, I don't know where to start. You start by just drawing. You start with a pencil and a crayon and a sheet of paper. You start by just going, I like the way the grass looks today. I'm going to try to draw a couple blades of grass. You start there. You don't start with, well, I have to draw a sphere to learn how to do shadows and lighting or a box. I need to make my people boxes. No, if you don't want to make boxes, don't make boxes. If you don't want to make cylinders and ovals and whatever else anybody will tell you when they're showing you how to construct a body, don't do it. You don't have to. There is nothing that is saying that you have to do it, and there's nothing also saying that if you don't do that thing, you will never, if your idea of being successful is earning a ton of money, there is nothing that says that you doing that thing is the only way for you to be successful, that you have to draw the boxes and you have to draw the ovals and the cylinders. No, you could make the most wonky thing on planet Earth and there's going to be somebody who absolutely loves it. The joke is that everybody has a favorite Pokemon and literally every Pokemon is somebody's favorite. And that is true of your art as well. If it's not just your favorite, it's going to be somebody's. It doesn't matter. Do the thing because you want to do it, not because somebody is on high in an ivory tower telling you that you have to do these art fundamentals. You don't. You just gotta make art, man. You just have to make art, and we need it more now than we've ever needed it. This world is a absolutely horrible place sometimes. The only thing that gets a lot of us through is art. So just make it. Don't give a shit about art fundamentals or color theory or anything else that people tell you you have to care about. Just make it. That's it, man. Just put it out in the damn world. We need this shit. Okay? Fuck. I'm sorry. We just need it. You know? So just do it. Please. Anyway. Didn't want to do that, but hey. I'm kind of passionate about this thing, man. I love art. I think a lot of people, when I tell people like things that I really love about their art or that I'm a big fan of like all these people, I sometimes do feel like people think I'm not genuine about that because there are people who aren't, right? Or you have, this isn't really related to art fundamentals thing, but you have people who are like, why are you glazing them? And I'm just like, because, man, a lot of people don't have that. You ever think of that? Like, there's a lot of people who don't get people in their life who actually care about the stuff they're doing or care about them as a person. I'm like, so if for 1 second I can just really tell somebody why I really love their stuff, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I'm a glazer. Yeah, dude, we're all donuts. We're all getting glazed. I don't give a shit. I don't know. Just the art fundamentals thing. I literally saw somebody post on Threads like the other day, and they were on the same wavelength I am when it comes to it. It's like, it doesn't matter, you know, and it's one of those things like, just do it for the sake of doing it, man. Like, we have to, the TikTokification of hobbies and like all this other stuff has completely destroyed joy and just making things for sheer joy, you know? And so it's like, if we can just make things for sheer joy, just do it. Don't pay attention to what somebody is telling you have to do, right? You're an artist, regardless of the way your art looks, regardless of what techniques you use, you're an artist, right? If you're sitting there and you're making stuff by hand, you're doing the stuff that you want to do, you're an artist. Plain and simple. So just make art. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Yeah. You guys have a good weekend. Good rest of your week, month, year, whatever you have. Just have a good one. Make lots of art. I'm the prize winning squid. I'm out of here. I love you. Take care.